Hello everyone. So today is the revision session for topic 2, the topic that we covered almost finished in the last week. So this topic 2 is about financial market. Before we start topic, I want to quickly give glance over the content of this topic. So the first outcome of this topic is a financial market and financial institutions. All right, so we're going to study about what does it mean financial institutions, all right? And financial markets, how many types of financial markets? In financial markets, we will speak about different kinds of financial instruments like as short-term, long-term, or international financial instruments. So that is the first learning outcome. Second learning outcome of this topic is a role of capital markets. So why capital market is so important for economy, right? As it's providing the efficient allocation of resources. So that's the main purpose of the capital markets. We'll speak more in detail. Third outcome will be ethics. We're not going to speak ethics much in this session as we already covered business ethics in the last lecture. So I gave you many examples over the unethical standards such as creativity accounting, frauds, earning management, insider trading. So here we just only focus over the insider trading because this is all about the financial markets. So you know what does it mean insider trading, but we will repeat again, but not in very detail. And next outcome will be about financial crisis. Of course, global financial crisis. What does it mean, global financial crisis? Right? How does how does local financial crisis turns into global financial crisis? How does it globalize? Right? And we're going to speak about bubble and burst, which is one of the factors behind the financial crisis or economy downturn. That's the learning outcome we're going to speak about. And the last learning outcome will be tax. How many types of tax? 2 types, direct, indirect. What does it mean, direct? How many types of direct taxes? And indirect taxes. How many types of indirect taxes? All right. So in taxes, we will speak more about, focus more on the corporate tax, or corporation tax liability. All right. So we start with the first outcome. So first outcome is a financial market. Financial market and financial intermediaries or financial institutions. So we talk about financial institutions first. Now what does it mean, financial institutions? Financial institutions are institutions which provides or transfer funds from one group of people to another group of people. Alright, so transfer of funds from one person to another person, that's called financial intermediaries. Alright, so we have 2 types of people or group of people. So one person called saver, and another one is a spender. Second name of saver is a depositor. Right? Depositor is that person who wants to deposit money in bank. Right? So we have a bank. So saver save money in bank, and bank lend money to the spender. Right? Of course, it's not possible that there is a directly transfer of funds from spender to the saver, as they do not believe, spenders and saver, each other. That saver doesn't believe that person will get money back on time or not, right? And spender doesn't believe whatever interest saver will charge that reasonable or not. So that's why we have a bank in order to give a confidence to save money by the saver and kinds of belief to borrow money, means banks kind of charging the right amount of rate of interest to the from the borrowers, right? So that's the meaning of financial institutions. So financial institutions are intermediaries which transfer funds from one person to another person, all right? So I'll write down here, they are intermediaries. All right? So banks are intermediaries, right? Financial intermediaries. If no banks, there is no transfer of funds and no financial transaction from one person to another person. Now, we have two types of financial intermediaries here. So the first one is commercial banks. And another one is investment banks. Right? Commercial banks are those banks which involve into lending and borrowing money. All right? Of course, for the commercial purpose. Lending and borrowing money for commercial purpose. And investment banks are those banks which basically involve into two kinds of activities. So the first one is they involve into underwriting, all right? And another one is trading. Right. If they are providing underwriting services, they charge a commission. So that commission called underwriting commissions. Right. Now, what does it mean underwriting? Right? Or underwriters. So underwriters are financial institutions which help companies to sell their stocks in market. Alright, so in the other words, you can say that investment banks are the financial institutions. They buy stocks from the company, right? They supply them money, company got money to start or run the business. Banks, they got stocks, and now they will sell stocks among investors. Alright, that's called the underwriters. And if they are doing these things, of course, they charge us some money, some fee, some charges from companies, and that's called the underwriting commissions. So what is trading activities? Trading activities means investment banks, they help investors to invest money in financial market, either real estates, either commodities market, such as metal, either gold or silver, invest in capital market, buying and sell stocks and bonds, right? Or invest money in foreign exchange, forex market, right? So investment banks are those banks which are providing underwriting services and trading services, and commercial banks are those banks which are providing lending and borrowing services. So now the question is, why does commercial banks not provide underwriting and trading activities, right? The reason is there is an act called Glass-Steagall Act. Glass-Steagall Act, basically, I'm talking about US market, right? I'm not talking about some other countries' market, so mainly United States market. Glass-Steagall Act is the act which prohibited commercial banks to supply underwriting or trading services. So investment bank has a right to provide underwriting and trading services. Commercial bank doesn't have that right, according to Federal Reserves. That means they announce that all the glass steagall type. So they're not allowed to do that, right? So therefore, commercial banks, they have their own activities, right? And investment banks, they have their own activities, right? Or area of working, we can say that. Right? Next one is, so that's all about financial institutions, all right? Next one, we will speak about financial market. Right? Financial market is that market which provides or which basically transfer financial instruments. All right. In the other words, we can say that financial market is that market in which investors buy and sell financial instruments, or we exchange financial instruments. All right. What does it mean, financial instruments? Of course, we will speak more in detail. All right. So I write down for you. Financial markets means exchange financial instruments. All right. Exchange financial instruments. That's called financial market, right? So if you want to exchange financial instruments, so we have two options. In two ways we can do that. So the first one is we call it private placement. Private placement. And second is a public offering. Right? Private placement and public offering. Private placement means we are directly selling our fund, means company is directly selling its financial instruments to these specific investors. So company select by itself to whom company going to sell its stocks and all. Alright, so that's called the private placement. Public offering means when company sell its financial instruments in general public. Alright, when company want to sell its financial instruments in general public, that's called the public offering. Alright, so now the question is, how does company sell its financial instruments in general public? So company has three ways. So with the help of three types of markets, company exchange financial instruments with the people, right? Investors, public, right? So we have three types. So the three types include money market. Second one is a capital market. And third one is a international capital market. So, international capital market. Alright, MKT is a short form of market. So, money market. Alright, what does it mean, money market? Money market is that market in which we buy and sell only short-term financial instruments. We buy and sell only short-term financial instruments, right? Capital market is that market in which we buy and sell short-term and long-term financial instruments. Alright? Short-term and long-term both financial instruments. And international market is that market in which we buy and sell financial instruments at international level. Alright? At international level. Alright? That's called international capital markets. So we start with the money market. So in money market we have three types of financial instrument that we will speak about. Right? First one is Treasury Bills or US Treasury Bills, USTB. Second short-term financial instruments is certificates of deposit. Alright? And third one is commercial papers. Alright? Commercial papers. So we have three kinds of financial instruments, short-term financial instruments. So USTB. What does it mean, USTB? US Treasury Bills is a financial instrument which has a high liquidity, right? Which issue basically for short period of time, either 1 month, 3 months, or maximum 6 months. All right. So maximum time to mature TB is 6 months. After 6 months, that US Treasury Bills will be mature. All right. Okay. But another thing with the US Treasury Bills is that US Treasury Bills is always issued at discounts. So you sell at discounts, right? I mean, governments, US governments or federal government will sell at discounts. We are buying at discounts. So when we sell back, we will sell at the market value. So the gap will be your profit. All right. That is US Treasury Bills. So interest is not attached to the US Treasury Bills. All right. Certificates of deposit. Certificates of deposit, of course, issued for 1 year maximum because the short term, the maturity date is the maximum 1 year. But here, here certificates of deposits are basically issued at not at discounts. So interest is connected with that certificates of deposit. As long as you are holding it, you are receiving interest. Right? Commercial papers are financial instruments that are quite similar to the US Treasury Bills. The difference here is that commercial papers are basically issued by large corporations, big companies. Could be Microsoft, Samsung, like these kind of companies. They sell financial instruments to raise money, all right, but for a short period of time. So that's all about money market instruments. Right? Now we move on to the capital market instruments. So here, capital market instruments, we have two types of financial instruments which buy and sell in capital market. So first one is stocks or shares. Second one is bonds. All right. Stocks are, of course, financial instruments. Companies sell it to raise money. So here we have two types of stocks. First one is common stocks. All right. And preference stocks. All right. What's the difference between common stocks and preference stocks? Common stocks are the stocks which are held by the common shareholders. So means, in simple language, if you are holding a common shares, you have a control over the business. Right? Control over the business means you have a right to make a decision over company operating and financial guidelines. Right? You have a right to speak. You have a right to make a decision over company product and services activities and finance or money related activities. So we call them common shareholders. Right? Preferential shareholders, of course, they don't have a right to make decisions over company operating and financial activities, but preferred shareholders are those shareholders they receive dividend before common shareholders, as their name is the preferred shareholders. Right? So here we're not going to speak more about common shares or preferred shares, because in our topic 4 we will speak more about common shares and preferred shares. If you're holding a common share, what are the rights you have, how many types of preferred shares, could be cumulative, non-cumulative, so on. Right? So here we're not going to speak more about common stocks and preferred stocks. Right? So that's enough to know about capital market financial instruments. So stocks are the capital market financial instruments. All right. Next one is bonds. Bonds are short-term. It's a long-term financial instruments. But how bonds are different than the stocks? So the major difference between stocks and bonds: if you are holding a bonds, you're not going to receive a dividend. You will receive interest. So the bondholders, they receive interest, fixed amount of money over the period of time, unlike common shareholders, right? For dividend. So here we will speak only 2 types of bonds here, right? First one is a municipal bond, right? And another one is a corporate bond. Municipal bonds are bonds which are issued by the local governments to raise money for their welfare purpose, either spend money for the schools, for the gardens, for the streets, for societies. Right? So governments need money. So when government needs money, government sells sell bonds to raise money. Right? Corporate bonds are bonds which are basically issued by or sold by the corporations to raise money for longer period of time. Alright? Of course, in both cases, either you are holding municipal bonds or corporate bonds, you will receive an interest. And of course, municipal bonds considered to be more reliable and low level of risk because issued by the government compared to corporate bonds. So that's why in corporate bonds, they have a different level of the bonds. Some bonds are high rating bonds, low rating bonds. Right? So the ratings basically decided by the different kinds of rating agencies. So here we're not going to speak more about the bonds. Of course, same like the stocks, we have a topic about bonds. Topic 4, we'll speak more about bonds as well, or calculation of bonds as well. So that's all about capital market, short-term and long-term financial instruments. Right. Now move on to the last financial market, which is international capital market. So in international capital market, so we have 3 types of financial instruments. So the first one is a euro bond, second one is a foreign bonds, and third one is stocks. All right. So I write. So we have 3 types. So we have 3 types of international capital market or financial instrument which are buy and sell in international markets. The first one is a euro bond. Second one is a foreign bond. And third one is stocks or shares that we sell in international markets. All right. Now, what does it mean? Eurobonds are the bonds which sold by local company in international markets in local currency. We call them Eurobonds. Alright? And foreign bonds are the bonds which sold by a local company in international market in foreign currency. Whatever is the currency of that market. Alright? So I write for you. Eurobond means local company sell in international market in local currency. Alright, so let's say if local country is US and local currency will be USD. Alright, international markets could be England, let's say. Alright, that's called the Eurobond. Foreign bond means local company, international market, and foreign currency. Right? So let's say local company is a US, international market is a England, and England currency is a foreign currency for US company. So therefore, foreign currency will be pound. Alright? That's the difference between foreign bond and Eurobond. Foreign bond is local company, foreign country, local currency. Alright? Foreign bond, local company, foreign country, and foreign currency. Foreign currency means that foreign country's currency. Right? So that's called the foreign bond. Right? Now, third one is a share or stocks. When companies sell its stocks in foreign country, listed in foreign exchange, or raise money in foreign country, that's called the selling stocks in international market. Like as many foreign companies, they are listed on New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, so they can sell their stocks in US market. Alright? So that's all about the first learning outcome. Alright? Now we move on to the second learning outcome. Second learning outcome is a role of capital market. Right? What is the main role of capital markets? How does capital market contribute to improve the country's economy? Alright, so I write down here. Role of capital market. Right? Now, what is the role? So, what is a capital market? So, in other language, capital market is a stock markets. That market in which we buy and sell long-term financial instruments, short-term and long-term financial instruments such as stocks and bonds. Right? So, in capital, so why capital market is so important for the country economy? Alright, what is the role of capital markets in country economy? So first of all, we have to understand what capital market actually does. Capital market is that market which basically allocate funds in more efficiently among the people, investors. Right? Means everybody has an equal rights to equal rights and opportunities to buy stocks, buy and sell the financial instruments. So here, so that's capital market normally does. Right? So if we don't have capital market, what will be happen? If there's no any capital markets, there's no any transfer of funds. Companies, people will not have investment opportunities if there is no any capital markets. Right? So there must be a market where buyer and seller can exchange the financial instrument. If no market, how how they're supposed to exchange financial instruments. If there is no any exchange of financial instruments, no transfer of funds. If no transfer of funds, company or corporates, they won't have enough fund to run their business. There is an investment opportunity, but you have a lack of money, lack of funds. How are you supposed to take advantage, benefits, or monetary benefits through that financial market, through that financial opportunities? So therefore, capital market is important. Through the capital market, when company require money, company transfer or company sell its financial instruments to raise money. Raise money for what? To produce product. Production improve in that country. So therefore, as we know that, we study in our economics, production play a very important role to improve country GDP. Alright, so in the other words, we can say that capital markets support country GDP. Alright, because it's all about investment opportunity, it's all about raising money, raising fund, and capital market is playing very huge role of raising funds. Alright, so that's why capital market is important for the country. But there is one unethical problem in capital market. As I said that we speak about a different type of unethical behavior in our previous lecture. Alright, so you can have a look. In those behaviors, one of the most important behavior directly affect the financial market. That behavior or unethical behavior called insider trading. Alright, US government already prohibited insider trading since 1930. Alright, so insider trading is considered to be illegal. So insider trading basically prohibited or kinds of create a barriers to make market efficient. It's basically create a barriers to supply financial information in the more efficient way. At the same time, providing informations to everybody in the market. But if you are using financial information, you means the company is using financial information or company management using financial information for their personal purpose, and then they release that information in the market, that's lead to insider trading, which is unethical behavior. Right? So we should provide that everybody must have an equal opportunity. Efficient market means people have an equal opportunity to buy and sell financial instruments. But if you are using information first, alright, financial information, if you are using financial information first and then you deliver that information in the market, then probably the reactions of the market not going to be active compared to when we supply the fresh information in the market. So therefore, insider trading not really fair way of dealing or transferring or buying and selling financial instruments with the people. Alright? So that's why insider trading is prohibited since 1930 from US governments. Alright? I'm talking about US markets. Alright? It's prohibited in 1930. I'm not sure about other countries, maybe they have different time periods since they started prohibiting insider trading, or maybe still they have insider trading. I'm not sure about other countries' economy. Right? So that's all about the role of capital market and the ethic issues related to the capital market. Alright? Now we move on to the next, which is the financial crisis. Right? Financial crisis means economy downturn. When country's economy is down, that's called the financial crisis. Running out of funds, right? No funds in order to pay for international debts. Means country economy doesn't have money. Right? So that's called the financial crisis. Now what does it mean, global financial crisis? Global financial crisis means same economy downturn but at international level. Alright, so it means world economy down. That's called global financial crisis. Alright? So what is the reason of global financial crisis? Mainly speak about there are many other reasons. Could be liberalization over liberal rules. So that's considered to be one of the main factor or reason behind the global financial crisis. But here we will speak some other reasons of global financial crisis. The first reason is Pentagon. Pentagon is a term which means transferring financial disease. So what does it mean, transferring financial disease or transferring financial communicable disease? Alright, so communicable disease is that disease when you come in contact with someone, probably you get it, you get sick. Right? So that's called the communicable disease. Right? Exactly the same thing happened with the economy. Let's say I take example of the US. US is the largest economy in the world. Alright, so we know that many other economies are dependent or related to the US market. Right? They injected their capital in US market, or US market injected its capital in other countries. Right? So it means country has a kind of relations with the US market. Alright? So if US market has any kinds of problem, whoever is in the contact of US market, that economy gonna be affected. Alright? That's the meaning of Pentagon or financial disease, transfer of financial disease. Right? So that's the first reason. Second reason is the bubble and burst. Right? So bubble and burst means the prices go up and then down. That's called the bubble and burst. Alright? So I have to give example of bubble and burst. Right? So the example of bubble and burst is, I take example of our country market. Alright? So let's say in Vietnam, you know that Vietnam market or Vietnam economy highly depends over the real estates. Alright, so it's playing very, very significant role to improve the country economy. Of course, we have some other important thing also related to Vietnam's economy. It could be seafoods or pepper, coffee, some others. But real estate also play a very important role to improve the country economy. Alright? So, for example, country has an investment opportunity. Means if you invest money in real estates, you're gonna make good money. Alright? If you wanna invest money in a real estate market, you must have fund. So how can you get fund? Two options: sell your assets to get fund, or go to bank, mortgage assets, and then invest, return, and pay money back to the bank. Alright, so of course we prefer second options, right? Mortgage. So we will mortgage our assets. So for example, assets value is $50,000. Assets is, let's say, land. Alright. So I use my land to borrow money from bank. So I mortgage. Right. So after evaluating the value of my assets, bank is willing to lend me, I don't know, let's say $20,000. $20,000 for $50,000 rent, land. So I got money, I invest in real estates. Alright? Same like as me, some other investors also investing in the real estate market. The demand is high. Demand increase, price increase. Price increase, price of real estate market is going up. Reach at peak point. Alright? Now, if the price of real estate is high, and of course renting room also comes in the real estate market. So the people who are not owning a house, they have to rent. So if the prices of properties are going high, so rent also gonna high, right? So that's why people don't have enough money to rent a room. Renting a room for the people, they come from the different cities, they're living in that major big cities. Of course, they are not willing to buy a house, or probably they don't have enough finance to buy a house, like in Ho Chi Minh City. Probably more than, I don't know, like 50-60% population in Ho Chi Minh City, they come from other different provinces. So maybe they don't have enough houses, so they rent a house. So if the price will go up, people, they don't have enough money to rent. So the demand of that particular part of the real estate is going down. So of course, it's gonna give a significant impact over overall real estate market. So demand decrease, price decrease. So real estate prices keep going down. Here is a thing. When real estate prices go down, remember, I mortgaged my land, which value was $50,000, right? To take $20,000, borrow $20,000, right? So when the real estate market is going down, the value of my land also going down, right? Let's say the value of my land before $50,000, or $20,000, value is going down. After down, value become $10,000. If there is a drastic downturn in real estate market, the value of assets will be like around $10,000. Now only $10,000. So now here, I have two options. Option one is I return $20,000 with interest back to bank to take my assets, which value is $10,000. Or I will consider myself as a defaulter. I'm not going to pay my money back to the bank. So I will ask bank to sell my assets to recover money. So of course, people prefer option 2 because you don't want to pay $20,000 to take your $10,000 assets back. Alright? So of course, people prefer second option, which is ask bank to acquire the assets. So when bank will sell its assets, bank gonna lose money. So bank obligations, bank debts will increase too, because bank also borrow from other banks. So their obligations will increase too. If obligations are really high, bank gonna bankrupt. If bank gonna bankrupt, of course that overall things give more and more impact over the financial crisis. Remember, if financial crisis stay too long in the market, that considered as a recession. Right? So recession is a mother of financial crisis. Right? So that's all about the financial crisis. So quickly we sum up by finding the solution of to improve the economy or solution to overcome from the financial crisis. So very common solution is a bailout. All right. Bailout. Bailout means when government buy debts or loss of financial institutions, right? Because country economy downturn, so banks does not have enough confidence to lend money to the people because they're worried there's no investment opportunity in the market. If the borrower want to borrow money from bank, how borrower will return money back to bank, right? Of course, bank has the assets. Bank can sell assets to recover back, but bank objective is not to sell the assets of the lenders, sorry, of the borrowers. Bank intentions not to sell. Bank wants lender pay all money back with interest, right? After the particular period, and bank will return assets. That's the objective of the bank. Bank objective is not to acquire the assets. Primary objective, all right? That's the last option the bank has. So government will bail out. So means government will buy their debts, right? So we call them government buy their non-performing assets, right? Non-performing assets means the loss, the debts, right? So they're buying their NPAs to overcome from their debts at that time. So when banks debts going down, so banks are building confidence to inject or flow or fund or transfer money in the market. Alright, so that's very basic way to to overcome with their financial crisis problem. Right? Okay, so that's all about financial crisis. Now we move on to the last topic, last content. So the last content of topic 2 is tax. Now what does it mean, tax? Tax is the amount of money that government generate from people, revenue that government generate from people. So here we have 2 types of taxes. So we have direct tax and indirect tax. Right? Direct tax is the tax we directly pay to government. Right? Indirect tax is, of course, indirectly paid to government. So direct tax divided into 3 types. Right? First one is income tax, corporate tax or corporation tax, and third one is capital gain tax. Alright? So, income tax, corporate tax, and capital gain tax. Income tax is the tax that basically paid by individual. Right? Like I said, maybe you and me, the people who have a salary, or they receive rent, or they receive interest, kinds of regular income over the period of time. Regular income over the period of time. The people are working in a company, they have a salary considered as the regular income. Alright? If you have kinds of sole trading business, of course you also have to pay income tax. Corporate tax is the tax which is paid by the corporation. And corporation pay tax over its profit. Right? Corporation pay tax on its profit. Right? And of course, tax rate is the rate which are decided by the government. Right? Next one is the capital gain tax. Capital gain tax is the tax that we pay on capital gain. Capital gain means when we sell our assets, whatever gain we are having from selling assets, whatever tax we pay, that's called the capital gain tax. For example, I invested money in stock market, I have a stocks, let's say I bought stocks $10,000 and I sold stocks $12,000. $2,000 is my capital gain. So I will pay tax on $2,000. Always remember, company does not pay capital gain tax separately. Whatever profit company has, whatever income company has, that gain is a part of that income, and company is paying tax over its profit. So profit already including, capital gain already included in company profit. So company paying only corporation tax, company doesn't pay capital gain tax. Income tax means income tax paid by individual, capital gain also paid by individual. Company does not pay capital gain tax. Right? So that's all about the direct tax. Indirect tax is the tax which is paid by someone, could be companies or anybody, indirectly to the government, such as VAT. Stands for value added tax. Value added tax is a tax which increases the value of the assets. Alright? So that's all about direct and indirect tax. Before we finish, a few things you have to you need to understand about direct and indirect tax or tax. It's that these tax depends upon countries to countries. Every country, they don't have a same tax law or tax policies. Right? Depends upon country economy. As per country economy, government keep changing or implementing the tax policies, tax law. Right? So that's all about that. So you cannot compare, you cannot say that this country we are paying that much tax, but why we are not paying same tax in another country. Alright, so as I said that it depends upon countries to country. Different country, they have a different taxation system, different taxation environments or different tax law. Alright? So that's all about topic 2. So before we start, I quickly summarize our topic 2. In topic 2, first of all, we talked about financial market and financial institutions. Alright? Financial institutions are institutions or intermediaries transfer fund from saver to spenders. Alright, so we have 2 types of financial intermediaries. First one is the commercial banks, which involve in lending and borrowing money for commercial purpose. And second one is investment bank, which provide underwriting and trading services. Commercial banks, according to Glass-Steagall Act, they are prohibited to provide underwriting and trading services. Right? So they have different services from different banks. So next one is the financial market. Financial market, buying and sell financial instruments. So we have, I would say that we have 2 types of financial instruments: short-term financial instruments, long-term financial instruments. Short-term financial instruments include US Treasury Bills, commercial papers, and certificates of deposit. Long-term financial instrument, which is capital market, buy and sell in capital market, have 2: share and bonds. Right? So share, common share, preference shares. Bond, we have municipal bonds and corporate bonds. And of course, the third type of financial market is international capital market. International capital markets, we talk about 3 types of foreign financial instruments: euro, foreign bond, and share. Right? So that's all about the financial market. And then we talked about the role of capital market. Really, the role of capital market is allocate efficient funds out in the market. And in the capital market, we talked about the unethical behavior, which is called insider trading. Unethical behavior called insider trading is prohibited in capital market operation. Right? And later on, we speak about financial crisis. What is financial crisis? Global financial crisis. Reason is Canada, public cost. Solution is bailout. Right? And finally, we talked about taxation, direct, indirect tax, direct income tax, corporate tax, capital gain tax. All right, directly paid to government. We have income tax paid by individual, corporate tax paid by corporation, and capital gain tax, of course, paid by individual as well. As I said there, capital gain is a part of company profit, and company paying tax or corporate tax over its profit. So company automatically pay tax on its capital gain as well. Therefore, company has not paid capital gain tax separately. Right? So that's all about topic 2. Thank you very much.